love the government. The government supports them.
Well, let me ask you this, because you had posted a picture before in uniform. You went to the military?
I can't answer that with the media recording.
Okay. Yeah. You know, it looks like my niece is going to be a redhead. She's so cute. I'm thinking of her because of the toys around me.
The boys?
Yeah, they're just over. I don't even know who Soul Man and Timber are.
You're not going to get it. These are American references.
I know. What am I, just an Israeli lost in America because Palestine doesn't exist? Imagine if they just absorbed all the people and it was all Israel and there was never any occupation and everybody lived happily ever after.
Oh, sounds terrible. With Jews running it? This is a dystopian nightmare.
Yeah. But you see it. Can't believe you got it.
Okay, first thing.
Nice. I've been wanting to detail the car myself. I can't believe Lou made a dating marriage profile on a Muslim app.
He wants it so bad.
I have a profile on the app, and he put it to where I could see him.
On purpose, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, man. That Lou, he just knows that Middle Eastern eye.
I think it's more of Indian that he loves, more than Middle Eastern.
Anything, yeah. He loves it. He's just obsessed with it.
Yeah, he really is. Randy is like, I like the white girls that don't ask, because when they don't ask, I get some. And the Arab girls are entitled. And Diego is like, you're right about so. I was like, I'm the only Arab girl Diego knows. So, Diego, you think I'm entitled?
Hell yeah.
That's sad.
But you are. You were entitled.
How so?
It's the way you carry yourself. You know, like, this is like typical. Who's fighting all these fights in these colleges, yelling at the guys, saying, you're a murderer, you're a murderer. Let my people go. I can't believe you're not doing this. Like, you've seen it.
Yeah. But I actually stayed away from
where are all the men? Where are all these men? Beating the women.
Yeah. But I stayed away from protests for that reason. I didn't want to be around that stuff. I wanted to protect myself because I didn't want anything like what happened to me happen. But it happened.
Because you guys are entitled. So when it comes down, when you're in the real world, outside of daddy's home, life comes at you fast. You know, and like Siddhartha, you don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you start building delusions of grandeur.
Sounds like mental illness. Back to the beginning of the conversation.
I mean, the guy saw so much pain that he developed a religion where he was the Buddha.
I don't know who that is.
The creator of Buddhism.
Okay. That's the creator of Buddhism? Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Comedian can tell you all about it.
I think comedian fell on the toilet.
We can only be so lucky.
You're usually pretty kind to him.
You've been extra mean to me lately, haven't you?
I actually haven't noticed that. I thought he stopped saying the dangerous stuff. He stopped saying all the other stuff.
For like a day.
I know. I think he's being nice to me, and then the next breath, he starts saying the things that he says.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comedian has been in a psychiatric hospital.
Oh, shit. I'm not surprised, but at the same time, you never mentioned it.
Yeah, he has. He's talked about it. He's openly talked about it. I remember. Comedian. Tell us about your psychiatric hospitalization. I think he probably left the camera running and went to the gym. And just streaming for Abby.
I'll speak of that. We're going over a stick. Here come.
Your fat ass, I wouldn't feed you anyway. I don't like the way your wig sit on your head.
I'm fucking dead.
But I'm not arguing for it. I just rode 2 miles on a bike and lit my celebratory blunt. What? That would be counterproductive to fuss.
Oh, that profile picture is gonna get the details hustling.
That's cool. That's cool. It was just unprovoked. Went back and forth with me. I didn't go back and forth with you. You made a whole room about me. You want to be mad about it, PTR? Nah, you're not just sitting up here trying to fake bully somebody. I ain't do shit to you.
Shut up, Mom.
But no one noticed me. Even though the celebrity kings and celebrities.
It ain't about that Taylor bitch is just mad at the world.
I assumed it was red. Like, I don't know what's that.
Look at you, Miles. Look at Miles.
What you be doing, Miles?
I thought Clubhouse was a safe space.
I'm gonna change my picture back. I don't even like the way this shit look.
Hey, darling.
Hi, Miles.
How was your day?
It was pretty good, buddy. How was yours?
I got they banned me on Hidden.
It's Friday.
Band you on hands. What were you doing?
I have no idea. And then they appeal. They acted like you committed a homicide. They're like, you can put in an appeal. So I was like, how am I supposed to appeal something I don't even know? Then I checked back and it's like, your appeal was denied.
Miles, what was the last thing you did before you got banned?
I don't know. I've been doing some wild stuff. I can't even lie. I thought about it. I'm like, well,
You know,
I just think
What is your name? Like Wild Miles.
No, Miles.
I don't take myself that seriously. So
No,
a lot of these women,
do you know how many reports you have to get put in for you to get banned off of the AT website?
Oh, God.
not
Miles.
necessarily. Not
No,
everything I
Miles.
want.
There are literal trolls just like you know how many reports reports they get banned off of the dating website of it? And all these trolls use Reddit. What are you talking about?
And you know what? The bad thing is that they say if you get banned on Hinge, then there's some type of thing where you can't use Tinder.
Look at you. You scared.
That didn't do nothing.
Miles, you are actually the most ridiculous person.
She wish, but she said, oh my God.
What?
She said, I moved wrong. She was like, she said, I moved wrong for the show shit. Like,
I won't
it's so
go.
wrong. I really don't give a fuck about this shit, bro.
Say little bang and boom the room.
Like, niggas need to go touch grass. Get outside. Like, yo.
Why did I accidentally just go in there?
Coexistence now.
Say I boomed the room.
Who boomed the room?
Bitch. That synthetic ass install.
What's the important person thing, huh?
Changing the world one room at a time, Dr. Ramos.
How you get recorded, bro? What happened? This man too straightforward.
Provocative.
Exactly, straightforward.
What did you say?
I don't know. I haven't looked. It didn't even tell me. So when I probably. Anyways.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, how can it say your damn without reason? It's just violating our.
Miles, be up there, fucking fuck out. You understand me? He can't even tell you what he did because he knew he was fucking the fuck out.
Trust me, I seen it. Like, he says that go to Starbucks. Like,
Oh yeah, Miles, you're going to jail.
this nigga's crazy, man.
So what are you gonna do?
It's alright, bro. Just make a new account, change your name.
No, his IP is
No,
there.
you can't. You can't, bro. They're using some AI shit. Like,
I got blocked. I mean, I got banned on BLK before.
that, why you get that?
I want to say it's because I told a white person on there that we can't have shit and that white people shouldn't be on an app called BLK because it's not called WH2. I want to say that's it because other than that, I wasn't really into anything. But I do recall that. So, I don't know. That could have been it. Could have been hate
No, but
speech.
I think
I'm not over here antagonizing or being weird to me, but it was just one incident. Miles, I can only imagine what you did, honey.
why you say that?
It's not that. I'm just feeling your vibes.
So what did I do? Let's hear it.
No, let's hear what you did to get banned.
Until 2026.
Damn. You might as well just date in real life.
So they banned your IP address, bro?
I do.
No,
I think they banned the IP, but you know, bro, it's not shit.
No, we're going to get you back on that app, bro, because I know you need it. We're going to get you back on that.
That was a low blow.
you got what?
Nah, that episode, though. I called some joints off there. That episode, if I got banned, I don't know what I would do.
Shut the hell up, weirdo.
To stand behind him. And Mama can walk when nothing to into fair and cooking him dollar, cooking him water, cooking him yarn. Tanaka Katolo. They are Zolan leader. Zolan people to reasons. After 2 years, they are now killer. After 2 years, killer. After 2 years, because he got her with you one the Tory, the Kenya. Got her, train. That's possible. In a Bruce. Bruce, they have a Yaman. More back the use Bruce there. Oklahoma Bitara for the sea. The Baranga.
It's in the cards.
when it comes to that, I am agnostic. I feel like
Sean has it. The sharpest tool is shit.
That's right, nigga. I'm the sharpest tool, nigga. I'm the best tool, nigga. I'm the number one tool. Okay, where my nigga at? Let me get a man.
Yeah,
My nigga, yeah, that's my nigga. Hey, he comes to these shad gusts. Nigga, what man you at? What man you at? Let me cut these guys up real quick.
Chilling, dog. Just chilling, bro. Chilling, bro. Don't make me waste my name, bro. I don't
Really, nigga, that person can really get cut you up.
coming in, bro. I don't even like the timing you coming in.
Yeah, thank you. You know better.
it's about how you feel.
Okay, so who's next in the queue?
Oh, that was the
That was
That was the right new guy?
that was you.
So, most people, if you've heard me speak in this room before, I think it's okay to be white. There's no issue with being white, and I have no problem with white people being able to claim whatever culture, whatever movements they like, want, X, Y, and Z. Nothing wrong with that. But I do, however, want to warn my white brothers and sisters, be very careful, because right now, what it looks like is happening is there are powers that want to essentially create what I term, and many people are terming now, called the woke right. You know, we just defeated the woke left. We just defeated the woke left. But there are a lot of people who want to take old ideas that are centered around race, that are centered around statistics that have to do with white and black, or painting white and black narratives that don't get to nuances and don't actually address the root cause of things in society that you don't like to see. Be very careful of falling into that trap. Because if you ask me, it's the same people that designed the platform and the funding for the woke left. They're now experimenting to do the same thing to the right to destroy it too, right? And the reason why I believe this with my heart is because I don't actually see those who are now falling into that trap actually addressing the root cause of legitimate gripes with other cultures or with other groups within the, within America. And so that's what makes me, think that, there's a concerted effort to make this happen. So all I'm saying is be careful.
For this situation is called
That's what I want to do right here. Damn, come on. I'm sorry, gang.
That whole per capita thing is just a, let's say, distraction from the greater issue, right? Because the issue I think Seventh was trying to show is that if you looked at all crimes, white and black, or blue and white collar crimes, the whites are doing numbers. They're doing numbers such that it's like, innumerable, uncountable amount of transgressions and criminal activity that the whites are engaging in. And what they've done is they've played the old switcheroo distraction game. They said, oh, no, don't look over there. Don't look at those, security fraud. Don't look at those violations of all your civil liberties and rights per the government onto this citizenry. No. Look at Tyrone and that purse snatching. That's what you need to look at. And guess what? Whites are doing numbers in that area too. But when we compare the whites to the blacks, there's more blacks per capita than the whites per capita. See, they're the real problem, even though the whites are doing the numbers, right? So the issue is, are we trying to solve the problem, or are we trying to do a comparative analysis? Now, obviously, if you wanted to solve the problem, you have to deal with the whites, right? If you wanted to do a comparative analysis, the blacks are winning in that regard. But guess what? In the comparative analysis and the blacks having the greater percentage of criminalistic behavior, the whites are still doing numbers and putting everybody in a subjugation type situation that you don't want to be in, stealing out of your pockets, ruining your children's future, on and on and on and on, right? The real pernicious, cancerous stuff, right? The whites are doing those things. Tyrone's just like bothering you for the day. That's what he's doing, for the most part, right? There's some other stuff that'll ruin you for the rest of your life, but the whites are winning in that regard. Thank you. Have a nice.
Well, there's no question that the economic scale between the races and the whites are absolutely tipped in a gargantuanly larger category.
Yeah, why is that? Why is that?
But to be fair, I don't think that this is actually something that could be a big focus.
Shut up.
I don't think.
It was not a big focus.
I don't think like criminality or something is something that should get a lot of attention. This really used to be addressed.
That's what the whole conversation was. That's the whole game. You created an entire segment to analyze black criminality compared to white criminality. That was what you wanted. What are you talking about? We just did with seven. It comes to now like these mob guns is crazy. Own it. Y'all gotta own it.
The question about something was to just show, I think people kind of dissent from this idea that black people are more likely to commit crime than whites, and this is just kind of a clean way to lay it out, at least a better way than what was tried when I was before I proposed this.
Yeah, I agree. You bored the room, use your voice.
I just
I appreciate that, you guys.
Yeah, so there's two houses. Both houses have 10 people. And one house has 4 people that committed the crime. One house has 5 people that committed the crime. We can say the one that has 5 people that committed the crime is more dangerous. I'm going to use that word. I'm going to use that tricky word. More dangerous. There's no question about it. I don't know why we're arguing this. But then we're going to say, you know what? The house that has 5 crimes committed, yeah, it's higher. And then guess what? The one that has the higher number of crimes committed doesn't actually have 10 people. It has 20 people. Versus the house that has 10 people that has 4 people committed crime. This is why per capita is important. I know you guys hate the word per capita. I get it. It's very triggering. It makes you feel like, no, this word was meant for just us. But no, per capita has a purpose. So if I had a house of 20, a house of 10, and the house of 20 had 5 crimes, and the house of 10 had 4 crimes. Yes, it's true. The house of 20 has more crimes. But 6 out of 20 committed crimes versus 5 out of 10. Per capita does matter, and people in the insurance industry use these per capita numbers that you guys need so much. There's a purpose for that.
I think you have a good point. But I do think that where people go wrong is they take a blanket analysis, and so now it's okay. I think where you have to start looking is where do you deem there to be a threat to your own personal safety or well-being. And for example, if you are a white person and you look at black folks and you're like, okay, I need to know
cases, most victims of violent crime are usually made a victim by someone in their own race. And so now you have to almost look at, well, okay, then out of all the violent crime that Black people commit, what is the racial breakdown? And you'll find that a lot of it is really just based off of long-standing, not just proximity by itself, but proximity and association with shit like perhaps family disputes, gang disputes, things that happen, crimes of passion, that are relative to their environment. So when you see, if you're in Bumblefuck nowhere and you see like a random Black person and you start saying, oh my God, look at this as a per capita just walked into our store, and you just start fucking like having a meltdown. I mean, that is kind of like, that might be, maybe that woke right element that somebody brought, I think that came earlier. We just started becoming a motherfucking, like, full-blown, I don't know, you just started becoming a fucking finicky freak, who you all of a sudden you don't want to go outside and shit, so, that's all.
Are we having any queue or is this over?
I think it's over.
Are we trying to figure out what you just...
Okay, well then we probably want to go, I'll just say that, King, you've talked to Enoch before?
Yeah, so Enoch and myself
was going to do that.
along with Dewey. Oh my God. Harvey, you have something else you want to speak on?
Harper just wants to...
No. I just knew that he was going to pass the buck and he was going to do, like, the game show.
Nobody's been talking to me.
I think he was going to do the game show, like, Price is Right sort of thing, and just, bring it on down.
Okay, you're literally just talking in concrete collab.
Shut the fuck up, you racist piece of shit.
Alright, be quiet. Call me. Oh, you use the N-word like multiple times.
We gotta do a small room one day with just Angel freaking Janina Harper. We gotta do this for something. Because I've heard you guys bicker back and forth for like over a year now.
Oh yeah, but anyway, but King, I just want to talk to you. Alright, Harper, I'm not understanding. But King, you talked to Enoch. Did you guys talk about theism?
Can you just celebrate whiteness, please?
Yeah. Alright.
Please do. Yeah, so I don't remember us talking on any issue with God, but the way that he operates under the conversation that had to do with China, America, business, population, I wasn't very impressed. Now, Dewey can back me up because Dewey participated in the conversation too. I'm not saying Enoch is not. I'm clear that the guy is smart, but I think he sort of like uses his showmanship, which is a good quality to have. He uses that as a way to sort of, cover up the fact that he didn't know a lot of things. Like, for instance, the population collapse that's coming to China. There was a lot of things that he wasn't familiar with, but his showmanship got him places, so I'll give him that.
Wait until he employs his showmanship in theism.
And again, the guy's clearly smart, but again, I think, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, if you're going to have a conversation, then you're going to, do the whole confidence thing, then at least know what you're talking about. So,
Well, he said it. He said
be honest, so.
he said atheism is manifestly true.
Yeah, I'd love to see him substantiate.
You say he got exposed? Manifestly, do you consider so if you say, for example, that the concept of God, like just merely trying to conceptualize God is a manifest falsity, I think that might be a better way to frame.
What do you mean by manifest falsity? What is that?
Well, essentially, it's inherently false and self-evidently false because it's inconclusive.
Yeah, that's just not true.
From out the gate, like when you try to define God and try to take on the approach of saying, hey, this is God and this is the God that I believe in.
What's the word you use? What did you say, manifest falsity?
Yeah.
Right, so manifest falsity and the way you define it would, like, that would, relate to something like there are no elephants in like serving in the White House or serving in Congress, right? That's manifest. Like the words you use could apply to something like that. But how
Does
it
it always have to be physical or like?
because I can prove inherently that most people believe, or it is actually true, that there are no elephants serving in Congress.
Has anyone ever proven that? As far as like evidence.
You said has anyone
there are no elephants in the White House.
Has anyone ever proven that?
You meant that physically, right? Like there are no elephants physically in the White House.
How else would I mean that?
So has anyone ever proven that?
Yes, sir. Yes, there are no elephants currently serving.
Even serving like the title of it, right? Okay. So as far as
you can prove a negative. So I'm trying to see how you use that word combination to prove God doesn't exist. So.
Well, it's not a one-on-one comparison though. Your example is not going to be.
It is, sir. I proved the negative. You can prove a negative, so I'm trying to see how you're proving God doesn't exist beyond using, the combination of those two words.
Well, but you're not. You can't just hold those two words exclusively to the way that you.
No, you gave the definition. Now, how does that correlate?
But manifest doesn't need to be something like, hey, okay, there are this many, jobs that are, in the executive branch, and no elephants serving them. You can. It's like, okay, that's not the only way to say that manifest falsity.
So Enoch, how again? How have you proven it? Just because it's already checked over. That's what I told you. So how have you proven, Enoch, that God does? You see how I just proved elephants don't serve in Congress? That negative, I just proved that. So in the same way, show me God doesn't exist.
So let me tell you this, right? First of all, because I reject the premise that you're starting with as it is. And here's why. Because the premise that you're trying to start with and trying to get me to walk down is not the full breadth of what we're going on. The fact is, when it comes to the concept of God has
manifest falsity.
Yes.
You said that. I didn't say that. I'm telling you the substantiation.
And you gave an example.
Let him finish.
Just like desperation.
No.
That sounds like desperation. Just let me. Yeah. So when you say that there's a manifest falsity, there's an honest assessment that comes from saying, hey, okay, this is literally something that is either unfalsifiable. This is something that you literally cannot. How do I put this? It's not just unfalsifiable, right? But it's unfalsifiable, and it's also, for lack of a better word, it's also something that you can infinitely shift the goalposts of. So, for example, when it comes to God, you assign yourself authority, and this is my premise in general. You assign yourself a lot of authority when you start to define God and say you believe in it. When you say, I believe in God, and what God is a singular entity who is a creator of the universe, and it's the intentional governor of all things within the universe. Just by saying that, you make multiple assumptions that go without completely any assumptions. You are already saying, okay, this entity is a singular entity. This entity is willfully governing the universe. This entity does not have any help. It's not weird. You're not a polytheist. You're making a lot of assumptions based off of the definition itself. The definition is already relying on the inherent belief. It's almost like you're asserting God by defining it. And that in and of itself is a major flaw. Like it's a structural flaw in the rationale to say God is
asserting God by defining him is a flaw.
Your assertion of so by
he's saying you're asserting superiority.
Asserting God by defining him.
No, stop. He's saying that you're asserting superiority when you say that I believe in God.
Get out of it. Let them talk to one-on-one. No one needs to let him explain what he's trying to say.
Explain that to me. Asserting God by defining him is a flaw?
It's a flaw because the terms that you're using in order to lay out your definition of God is an assertion. If you just make an assertion and there's no substantiating those terms that you're using to make that assertion, then you have a structural design. Now you have multiple points to prove before you even get past the conversation of saying, hey, this entity is real. You have to prove that the God of the Bible is not more or less real than the polytheistic Egyptian lore.
So that's it.
That's literally it. When you say God he is a entity that created the known universe. Nobody says God is a singular entity.
Yeah, nobody says that. So whenever we have this conversation, this is why I need to focus you, because you're all over the place. So if someone gives you a definition that corresponds with reality, what about that type of definition? Not a straw man like you just tried to do, but an actual textbook definition that theists have used for thousands of years to make these arguments. What about that definition?
Give an example.
No. Don't try to shift the burden, because what I'm still trying to see from you made the statement that manifests falsity, that God doesn't exist by that. So I'm still waiting for that.
So again, right, your statement, when you try to define God, every single iteration of God that's well known, even the polytheistic deities, you have to, in order to believe in them, you have to first make assertions within your definition based off of stuff that have no credible evidence. You have to, when you say, okay, I believe in the Egyptian pantheon, all right, well, that means that you believe that Ra and just a bunch of these other deities are basically more real and are as involved in the creation of the universe collectively, and you're making that assumption, you're making that assertion, and that comes into direct conflict with the belief in a singular God, one-track intentional creator to the universe. Now you go into the other continual qualities. Okay, well now they're also continually involved in the process of the universe. Some theists are deists. Some deists, they'll say, well, God creates the universe, but it might not regard the universe. It's not an active governor over the universe. Just in the definition, you have to break down the actual definition. If you give one sentence and say, hey, this is God, the words that you use within that sentence, which is what I keep trying to get people to understand, the words that you use within that sentence are assertions. They are assertions that do not come with self-evident truth. They actually come in the absence of truth. They come in the absence of evidence, of credible evidence. The closest thing that we have is, as a reference, is going to be basically the religious texts of the carried down lore that introduced the person trying to define God to that concept of God in the first place. The problem with that is that I can do that for Harry Potter. The problem for that is I can do that for any other deity that I wanted to in a book that inspired me.
Yeah, so I want to be very clear. So what I'm hearing from you is you're using references like the Egyptian pantheon, Harry Potter, and all of these other fictional texts to essentially say that there is no possible way that God exists.
So what I'm saying is that the definition,
those are the things you brought up. Right? You use the word manifest falsity.
It's a reductive.
And you're using Egyptian pantheon, you use Harry Potter, and some other things in the word salad to essentially present as evidence that there is no possible way God exists.
How did I use those words? Did I just randomly name drop them?
Those were your references.
How did I use them?
Manifest falsity.
Can you see how I brought them up?
Use those two words as a way of saying that you can prove God doesn't exist. And so when I asked you to substantiate that, you brought up the Egyptian pantheon, you brought up Harry Potter, and a number of other fictional texts as your reference for that proof.
You got blindsided by the names that were referenced, and then completely lost the logical track of what I'm bringing up. I'm mentioning the Egyptian pantheon because they're a very famous example of polytheism. But when you say God is, hey, this is God. He is the divine creator of the universe, and most of them usually say that it's a loving and well-wishing entity that governs over all actions within the universe. You got to start with each word that I just used. He is, boom, okay. That comes in a direct contrast with different pantheons that say, no, it's never been he. It's actually been multiple creators of the universe. It's actually been a demiurge. It's actually been this and that and the third. And that right there is like, okay, now, how how do you actually substantiate your claim of the singular God versus another claim from another belief system that once ruled the world that said, hey, there were like 5 or 6 gods, or there are like a Mount Olympus of gods? How do you say that your claim is more concrete than theirs towards that singularity of a divine being?
Yeah, that's simple, because our claims and our beliefs correspond much more with reality as it's been given.
How so?
Yeah, there's a number of ways. One would be obviously the life, death, and resurrection of Christ. But outside of that, you can also use some of the classical arguments around the Kalam, right? The teleological, the moral arguments, the transcendental.
You're summarizing there, but you brought the
I'm giving you ways I could substantiate.
You're referencing.
I'm pretty sure you've heard these arguments before. But again, don't try to get away from it. Have you substantiated how you've proven God doesn't exist?
And that's been my point.
You made the claim of manifest falsity, that there's a manifest falsity in the nature of God's existence, meaning I can show you God doesn't exist.
But there's an absence of credible evidence when you bring up those examples. You didn't actually use any of them as credible evidence.
This is on your claim. This is not mine. You're trying to shift the burden. I'm trying to see how you're showing that God doesn't exist.
The burden of a concept of something is within the definition of that concept as it pertains to observable reality. You're the one who claimed that observable reality dictates that there would be a monotheistic deity that runs.
I never said any of that. I never said any of that, sir. I never said any of that.
So why did you bring
one more time for the audience, this man has yet to substantiate that manifest falsity in the context of those two words, that God does not exist.
I did. Manifest falsity.
Okay, so you're saying you did. So watch this closely. What was your evidence that God in a manifest falsified way doesn't exist? What was your evidence?
The necessity of the definition of the concept that you are trying to say exists, right? Okay, God doesn't exist. Let's go back to your reference. There are no elephants that serve in the White House at this time. And maybe I'll shift it a little bit, right? I'll say,
you're going to shift.
No, I don't have to. You can hear this, and you'll like this. There are no elephants literally physically in the White House at this time. There's no elephants. Now, that's probably true, right? But can you prove it?
No.
Someone can go through the entire White House.
My example. I know I used my example, so you couldn't do what you just did.
So here's the problem, right?
So stop playing games, sir. Here's the reason why I said there are no elephants serving in the U.S. Congress.
I know why you said
or
that.
serving in the White House.
Because it was deceptive.
We can prove that. We can absolutely prove that.
Because who serves in the White House?
Prove that. So what I need you to do, absolutely prove that God doesn't exist.
You've played fully into my hand by using that reference, and you tried to be deceptive, and it ended up working against you. When you say elephants, there are no elephants that are serving in a position at the White House. You are taking tangible, repeatable qualities such as the list of jobs that are in the White House, the list of roles that are laid out and defined at the beginning of a presidency, and the human beings that are going to fulfill that role. When it comes to the concept of God, you have the privilege. If you're going to maintain the concept of God, you have the privilege, and most God believers abuse the privilege of the gaps that they are provided. They're able to say, we can't see God, and he's not here, but he's within every atom within us, and you can't see those either. You're able to shift perpetually and provide no repeatable, measurable basis to the claim of its physical existence. So your example, and you trying to bring maybe it's because you're like half listening, but when you brought up an example of jobs that are in the White House, like the executive
No, I didn't, sir.
positions that we did.
Very clear. There are no elephants. You see how I made a positive claim for a negative thing. There are no elephants serving in the United States Congress. That is a provable claim. It's provable.
That is as provable as me saying there is no God.
You have evidence that God does not exist.
You have literally given me the same thing. That's like me saying there is no God.
Whatever you use, manifest, falsify, like it's some fucking fancy term, right? Some fucking fancy hotep shit.
So what is it?
So show me, substantiate that shit.
What is an elephant?
You have to substantiate it.
What is an elephant?
You brought up the Egyptian pantheon, you brought up Harry Potter, you brought up a couple of other fictional things, but I have to see how that substantiates that God doesn't, that's evidence that God doesn't exist. That's retarded.
What is an
I'm trying to be cool, I'm trying to be, what Andrew
That's okay. What is an elephant? What is an elephant?
It's an animal, sir.
I got it down 25 points right now.
You said, how do I know that an elephant is an animal?
How do you know an elephant exists?
What do you mean, how do I know an elephant exists? What type of evidence would you need that an elephant exists? Do you need me to have a picture of an elephant?
With respect to yours, but also the listeners' intelligence, right? We can say that elephants is
bad, This is really bad.
Andrew, what it sounds like, he's simply making a case that you can't discover truth because all you have is comparison between models. He's not really making a case for like the non-existence.
That's not true. I'm going by the example he gave. So he gave that example. There are no elephants sitting in a position in the White House. So I'm asking you, what is an elephant? Now we all have seen elephants. We've seen them. We know somebody who's probably been in the same vicinity as one. Elephants are real. They're real, tangible things. You can count the number of elephants in a given place at a given time. That is already like dramatically different from you saying from the statement that there is a God. I can say there is no God in the universe. I got you. I can say that there is no God in the. I can say that there is no God in the universe. Okay, go ahead.
No, you can't.
Why not?
Because if you've never seen it's a straight up argument for
If you've never seen an elephant before in your life, and nobody else that you've ever met has ever seen an elephant in your life,
do you realize the common denominator in every room are the atheists? The atheists actually are disagreeing with you. Like you're like the denominator.
There's people who agree with me too. Usual suspects who.
Enoch, look at the chat. There's no one that agrees with you.
Enoch, how long are you gonna hate this, Enoch?
I'm not looking at the chat.
Let's make it a teacher moment. Can we make it a teacher moment?
You're trying to you're shutting the conversation, Enoch, right? You're trying to talk about something else.
Just listen.
Yeah, can we make it a teacher moment?
10 great numbers, one must.
Please, sir. You're essentially making an argument from ignorance. Anticus correctly pointed that out. Because, and respectfully, this is a logical conclusion when dealing with this, like going down the road that this path, you essentially start to deny anything has been poured down. That's not what I'm doing. Let's get a man before then you're trying to establish that there is no way to know for certain an elephant is what it is.
That's not what I'm trying to do.
Yes, it is.
No. You guys are asking me. Let me try to I just told you that elephants exist.
personal statement is undermined by this particular instance. So therefore, that's it. Because any other way, God is not material. It's not something you should be. You told me to have this conversation, right? So especially when you said the word what can how ridiculous it sounds when you So he's never going to learn if he doesn't actually
Surely we can find solid ground that state.
Robert Francis Prevost, born on September 14, 1955 in Chicago, Illinois, is a prominent American Catholic. Robert Francis Prevost, born on September 14, 1955 in Chicago, Illinois, is a prominent American Catholic.
Cardinal of the Holy Roman Catholic Church, and then after that,
So you're playing this.
What you said was ridiculous. So you were arguing like it's coherent.
Like you're saying it's ridiculous. Let's get back to the actual life. That is already a shit on that first.
Tina, can you hold on a second?
They refuse to.
No. Like in principle, it is possible to prove a negative, right?
Yeah, if you're honest, but if you refuse to concede to the negative and the lack of evidence for the existence.
Claims like there is no blank are in principle provable.
As long as you're honest about it. So, because there's always a way, especially when you make an entity immaterial.
There's not always a way, but those types of claims are in principle unprovable.
Okay, there's no elephants serving a job in the White House or in the executive branch. It's a secret job. Some jobs are on a secret menu. It's on a secret menu of jobs. What is it? It's like an elephant that's honorary assigned to the Secret Service.
What is the sorrow unexpressed that shadows those ecstatic lids? A star in the garter, with sadness closes in between your eyes and light a day, my queen. Before our glance have come, He's saying, okay, if you have an empty Coca-Cola box, then you can say that there are cocaine in this box. So if someone responds to you and says, hey, there's an invisible, metaphysical, immaterial cocaine in this box, and how do you feel comfortable with it? What do you say?
Always on that, if you
the thing that you're trying to prove they're not to prove, and you can't prove it either. I agree with that. Maybe I'm interested in people to do it. It's like you just created a precedent for it. And every time you have an active force walking around, are you saying you not put this particular conception, but these conceptions are not indisputed? Is that that's a thing that's not sound to begin with, because if you don't understand if someone says there is a spiritual, ethereal ghost man in this box, there is no such thing in this box. Do you think that is an unprovable thing? I mean, that's it. Someone says there is no ethereal spiritual culture in this box. Do you think that is an unprovable thing? Someone says this following statement: there is no ethereal, invisible cocaine in this box. Do you think that statement is an unprovable claim?
The phone.
You still have improvement goals. But the problem,
Fraud history, Cook County Republican system. Those Republicans. This is 3-10 to none. 10 to none, I guess. Hey, Nick!
I'm very, very interested in that talk.
Hey, Nick. It's me, Cindy Stumpo. I'm at a work construction site. I'm looking at over 50 workers. I don't know how many of them are Mexican or illegal. Doesn't matter to me. I'm building houses, Nick. The name is Cindy Stumpo. Here's my business card. Let me know if you want to invest. I got a great new startup for you. It's a technology app. It's information technology. It's going to be one of the biggest apps of the world. Cindy Stumpo knows. Just give me your money. And I'm going to go build another 100 houses with another 1,000 Mexicans. I'm Cindy Stumpo. Nobody fucks with me. I build houses all over the fucking place. I got thousands of fucking workers. I'm worth $400 fucking million. Do you know Grant Cardone? Do you even know who the fuck I fuck with? I'm Cindy Stumpo, motherfuckers. Do you know Grant Cardone and Nelson the Beggar and Jonathan Bing? The Jonathan Bing. I'm fucking Cindy Stumpo, bitch. I run this town. Don't forget it. Here's my business card, Cindy Stumpo. This is Cindy Stumpo, you motherfucker. Don't you tell me who the fuck can work at my fucking construction site. So you say he doesn't have his fucking papers? Here's my fucking business card, Cindy Stumpo. You can call my attorney.
I wouldn't do that if it wasn't for you, Nick, but that shit is funny, isn't it? It's really funny. So I'm live streaming this on a whole bunch of different platforms. I'm about to record some poetry, some powerful magic hypnosis. And I've been playing music now on YouTube and on Clubhouse and creating music content, and it's going pretty good. You know why, Nick? Because I put on a Pepe mask with a Trump hat, and the videos are going viral. And I'm calling myself Mr. Iran Tehran, and I'm basically pulling like a Borat, and I'm pretending to be like an Iranian. You know, everybody. I don't know if you know this, Nick, but when I was in the 7th grade, I was the president of the United States of America in the play called Annie. I was Franklin Delano Roosevelt in the 7th grade. And isn't that kind of crazy? Because I beat out 8th graders for the role as the president. And it was because of my audition. It was because I practiced. I practiced the scenes, and I improv'd as well because, you know, things were nothing big, but I had to sing a song. I sang Tomorrow. FDR sings Tomorrow in Annie. That That was my song. Tomorrow, tomorrow. I was so fucking nervous. I was like, how is this even possible that I can sing this song? But you know, when you're a young prepubescent kid, anybody can sing a song because it's just kids singing. You know, it's like it's not opera. It's fucking kids singing, and you know, it's hypnotizing. So I was an early hypnotist in the 7th grade. Our English is our music teacher's name was Dr. King Cohen. I don't know why the fuck he had the doctor title, but he was teaching music in the 8th grade, and he was a doctor. And he wore a toupee, and he looked like he was about to pop. And you know, he really did know music though. He was like a real conductor. It was kind of amazing. Some people really know music, you know, because it's technical. But not me. I fucking build. I've been building houses for 55 fucking years. And this is Cindy Stumple. Here's my fucking business card. I got an app for you I want you to look at. I want you to invest in this young kid's app. He's an up-and-comer. Let's be honest. He's a fucking up-and-comer, this Nelson Apega kid. I showed him how to lie on a mortgage application 10 fucking years ago. This kid has taken out $55 fucking million in mortgage loans because of me, Cindy Stumpo. You're gonna have to be honest when you file. You're gonna be honest when you gotta settle. Let's be honest, you know? It all comes down, because once you got the fucking money, then the lawyers and the banks, and I'm fucking Cindy Stumpo. I got 5,000 fucking workers at 35 construction sites. We're competing with the biggest home builders in America. Hortons. Home builders. Talk to Grant Cardone. He knows how much stress there is in building fucking homes. When you gotta deal with the subcontractors, the general contractors, the managing brokers, and the fucking real estate agents. I fucking hate them all. My name is Cindy Stumpo. I basically created the home builder model. I'm an early innovator. Not many people know this. Grant knows this story, but I only told Grant this because I tell the young kids good things so they can follow in my fucking footsteps. And that's why I tell all my friends to invest in Nelson Apega's incredible chatter app, because Jonathan Bingham, he fucking rebroadcast chatter into fucking Clubhouse. And nobody even uses fucking Clubhouse anymore. There's no fucking party hats. But you go to chatter, there's a lot of fucking party hats. So what does that tell you? That means people, you're going to want to invest in this chat app. Let me refer you to my friend Jonathan Bingham. He's got all the details, and he'll give you the investor perspective. You'll have to sign a non-disclosure. Also, of course, we'll have to qualify you as a registered investor. So if you don't have a minimum of $250,000 liquid capital, we're not going to be able to work with you. I can show you my portfolio. You can show me yours, but mine is bigger than yours. Let's be honest. I'm Cindy fucking Stumpo. I got 3,500 fucking Mexicans working right now, and Trump is busting my fucking balls, but let's be honest, I'm happy he's kicking them out. In fact, I fucking doxed all of them with fucking ice. With his fucking ice. I told them exactly where they were. ICE agents came and picked them up. I said, don't anybody say nothing, or you ain't gonna get your pay this Friday. That's what I told all my fucking workers. I'm fucking Cindy Stumpo, and here's my business card. This is like my Tim Dillon impersonation of Cindy Stumpo. That would be a funny video, right? Yeah. This is why, like, doing these performances and not filming them are, you know, it's the definition of insanity to, like, not record this stuff. It just takes too much energy to do these Cindy Stumpo impersonations. It's probably one. I think it's one of my funny impersonations. The Cindy Stumpo impersonation. Stumpo. What a fucking name, Stump. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Americans are amazing. Because it is like a question of willpower in so many ways. Because it's a lot of it is performative. Because there's people who really do the work, and then there's people who just like do this management, supervision. So you can fake it till you make it. I mean, the thing is, I just can't even imagine Grant Cardone worrying about a tenant, who caused some property destruction in one of his 800,000 apartment unit complexes. I mean, it's like, dude, at the end of the day, you're a fucking investor at some point. I mean, if you have a portfolio of 100,000 apartments, it's like, I mean, I don't know. I met somebody once in college. I was the president of the investment club, and he just came in. It was Nick. It was literally like our college alumni, Cindy Stumpo. He came in. He's like, "This is the equation, you fucking idiots. This is the fucking equation. And I used this fucking equation my whole life to acquire over 80,000 apartment complexes in the southeastern United States, you little fucks. You see this fucking equation? This is the fucking equation. I don't buy shit if this equation doesn't have this fucking number, motherfucker, or less." And I was like, So that's your whole presentation to us? Interesting. I still can't, I don't even know what that equation was, but obviously it was like a cost benefits analysis equation. I mean, okay, now you get the ratio. It's like, there's so many other components. He was a cool guy, though. I mean, all business. Yeah, I saw Tim Dillon here in Chicago at Rivers Casino. I took this really hot chick. I don't think she was impressed because after she gave me a kiss at the end of the night, I was like, my grandmother kisses better than you. But yeah, Tim Dillon was very funny. Very, very funny. I recorded it. I think I put it on Clubhouse when I was listening to it, but neither here nor there. He is one fat piece of shit. And I should go to the gym and not be a fat piece of shit. But, what's cool about Clownhouse now is if you get kicked from a room, it automatically bounces you to a new room. So that means it's like, I can walk away. I can walk away because of the preview function, and it'll just constantly play Clubhouse, which is exactly what I've always wanted. This is the world famous Prince. Palestinian terrorist piece of. Imagine. See, I just got kicked. Oh no, now I'm in the room. I didn't even touch the phone.
بطل تبغانا نسب البحرين نسب الكويت بس ما راح نسب
يا عم انت ليش
What is language on your mom? If you use the syntax to communicate a word that you don't create, you are communicating in a language.
He's a Chihuahua and dog, and our dog's canines, and our canines.
They've been breeding like humans for a long time, like especially in the slave times. They were breeding the slaves and shit to make them more like stronger and bigger, Same thing as genetics. It's like when you do a hybrid with the marijuana, when you do two strains, you hybrid together. We're messing with genetics.
It took him out, though. He's good, though.
Funny with the money, or you got me mistaken, honey. I don't want to rape you. I just want the paper, the visa, capricia. I'm all like the papers.
He's like, you're running for. What did he say? Something about the mayor of Chicago.
Tweet about.
All right, Nick, we in the spot.
After the rally,
We in the clip. We with Jonathan. Bam. Without Daphne, I would have got charged. They got Daphne was here to save me. I love you, Daphne. Welcome to the Nelson Opega and the Cindy Stumpo Grand Cardone. We are live streaming chillism. AKA Chatter. Auntie Clown House with Grand Cardone.
Didn't get the memo. He came out here on his podcast and he put out there that he likes it. So now, in the coming weeks, he assumedly won't get back and he'll tell you how much he hates it.
This room is called First American Pope is Chosen. Trump appoints Puro. Debate the news.
With that being said, no, guys.
Is this the definition of brain rot? Because that's like the point. Is to like record brain rot. I think this app is just full of it. It's literally, I think, low IQ people repeating themselves. And
absolutely. I'm here.
you can definitely tell people don't read books here because they're just repeating themselves all the time. I mean, it's like that guy Kenyan Chillism. I think we're like dealing with people that are living in like assisted living facilities or something, like Down syndrome facilities throughout the country. It's gotta be like, think about how many people work in special education, like work with Down syndrome people and autistic children. I think that's who is like using this app. Because clearly none of them work. I mean, I don't work, but like none of these people work. So like, are they living in Down syndrome facilities? Like, who are these people?
That Francis was pretty progressive. There are a few others that I do know of, so I'm not exactly sure, but I still
what do
think
these people really do? I just wish there was like more profile index data about every person, who they are, where they live, what their net assets, like what their
I think that this is the way
the total net worth is,
giving a middle finger
what kind of car they drive.
what is happening in American
That's the cool
politics.
thing about
And this is
data
their way
is, like you were really examining someone's personal tax
that
returns.
we're going to pick a person
That's like the most intimate thing. And the crazy thing about a tax return is it's all subjective,
So a couple of things
and people just run a risk when they file. I mean, especially if you're doing that Section C. I mean, it's like, you never see it in the news, but there's a lot of people that lie on their tax returns and take huge deductions and like pay their taxes. And supposedly they're raising the tax rate.
Also on climate control, also on
and it all just goes to a fucking warehouse in an underground fucking cave in the cave.
He had
just like all the federal employee jackets that sit in that fucking
very clear
non-digital
on
thing.
supporting
Anyway.
racial justice, particularly after the murder of George Floyd. I mean, he is. And
I wish I had my belt.
spoken out against J.D. Vance and the mass deportation policies, and then Vance's attempts to use Catholic doctrine to justify them. So I think that this is not a good thing for MAGA. I think this.
You can imagine it. It's not there.
How far away is it?
Just coexistence under these with all normal balls.
Actually, mills. I don't know if you guys are familiar with mills. They're even smaller than millimeter.
Yeah, so 100th of a millimeter.
Nick, if you didn't come in here, I probably would have been reading a book already.
Engineering and metalwork. Yeah.
Like the Cindy Stumpo thing is just too tempting.
Measurement is your trucks. Oh, fantastic! That'll solve everything.
But I would only do it for you because you're the only person that says, hey, I'm going to do the Cindy Stumpo impersonation. You're the only one. So it's like clearly my comedy's not taking off, right? Like you're the only person asking to hear Cindy Stumpo. Like I don't have an audience. Like Tim Dillon's got an audience. I got no audience.
I thought it was Cindy Cobb. Maybe I don't know. Whatever.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think you might be.
We're in Berkeley territory. You ever seen a Muslim fashion show? Me neither, but I imagine it looks like a whole bunch of black bed sheets walking around stage.
They're like
like
Yeah, there's other colors.
cerulean or purple or
There must be other colors.
just a splash of
Like
color.
Versace hijab.
Exactly. Like I had somebody going. I said Tom Ford was doing a burqa line for fall 25. And somebody was like, really? Yeah. Matching shoes too. You just can't see them.
Something everyone.
Did you see the Met Gala with the Hindu guys dressed like,
that was very disappointing.
Indian Rajas or
It's
whatever?
just, I feel like mainstream
What was
Muslims.
disappointing, me or him?
And
Oh, I thought I took care of him, but it was just like he's an American.
you should have heard this guy. He goes by the doctor, the bad doctor, not the doctor responsible. He's the doctor irresponsible.
Yeah, he was holding court with Edward.
Edward is reasonable, and I think I like Edward, but he holds company with some unsavory characters.
You're right to be long way.
Says unsavory.
He's become a little radical.
That's the nature of the beast, I believe.
Edward is sometimes reasonable, but unfortunately, there is really no reasonable in this matter. If he wants to stay frankly, he's a blind guy from Connecticut.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
Well, it means everything to me.
He still wants it.
What means everything to me is him and the doctor are both Americans, and they have these ideals. To me, that's the most upsetting, that they're American.
Well, their attachment to American ideals is a little bit tenuous. And they're also in denial about it.
No, they'll embrace the American ideals to criticize Jews or Israel, but then, of course, they don't believe in American ideals when it comes to their own doctrines and beliefs. And that's the dichotomy. They're living in two different worlds simultaneously, I think.
Isn't that the playbook?
Yeah.
Can I just remind you that this is Clown House, and you'll meet all kinds of people who just, project all the time, and you shouldn't take it literally. It's just, maybe it's like a blind guy or somebody at a Down syndrome facility. You don't even know their back end,
No, but I think we should take it literally. I think that is the reality, unfortunately.
It's not. No way.
Maybe you're just a clown.
No, I am a clown. I'm a comedian. I'm just saying that, this is... First of all, you have to understand that all these rooms are just entertainment rooms, and that when you listen to Edward, he's actually an entertainer. And every cynic, all of them, every single one of them, they're just entertainers, and they're just doing real politique. That's what it is.
Maybe you're just projecting. You're the entertainer.
No, but my projection's accurate. If you can debate my accurate projection, debate my accurate projection.
Wait, what amount of income did you write from comedy this past year?
I got the Toyota. You think I'm worried about my adjusted gross income?
Well, to be a comedian, you have to be paid.
He's got the 8 soap.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Jacob's Ladder does have its profits, and the Ain't Off is, beautiful philosophy, and I pray that Ribono Shalom sends me a great adjustment to my adjusted gross income. I've already visualized it.
Okay, Jacob, when you're just getting started, you don't tend to make money in most art forms.
Okay, how many comedy clubs have you played for free?
I've definitely created millions of views from Clown House over the past 4 years.
Millions of views.
Not billions, millions, not billions, millions of views.
Okay, what was the total amount that you've got from YouTube checks for impressions and impressions?
I've lost multiple accounts. I've gotten multiple copyright infringements, multiple privacy rights violations. I have had dozens of Clown House people complain against me. I've created a network of haters. I mean, I have a network of lovers, but I got a network of haters. That's okay. You can't create a network without some haters.
I think mass hypnosis will get his break. I think he's very talented.
That is one of his important phrases, mass hypnosis.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time until he gets his break.
I think he'll get his break too.
A super
Does anyone know
success.
anyone at Saturday Night Live? I heard him say that was his dream before. I think that's where he belongs.
I think he needs to focus on Second City. It's right in his town.
No, my father auditioned for Second City with Sweet Chuck from Police Academy. Sweet Chuck from Police Academy made it big. My dad became a real cop, and he was in the canning business. Puerto Ricans, Africans, Mexicans.
Hey, we named Second City Third City.
Baby north of.
No, I think he's gonna be. I think there's a lot of people looking for naked men in their 30s playing the bongos on their belly. But there's other stuff too. Yeah, but there's other entertaining things too. Very entertaining.
Yes, yeah.
I think.
I call it self-actualization comedy.
Wait, you're at the top of that little hierarchy.
Oh, right. Self-actualization.
Yeah,
Right at the hierarchy top.
I'm an Einsoft self-deprecating comedian. I mean, Einsoft loves self-deprecation. It's a roast, and that's what I've realized what Clown House is. It is a roast show, and I have been filming it for many years. I would hope that Clown House is actually my biggest legacy, because I feel like this is like recording a television cast, and it's, I'm the only one doing it, and I think it's an interesting cast of characters.
You're right. Creates great moments. If you read some stories of something like Sonic's and Revy's, I heard this one where this Revy comes to a town and he wants to go to this guy's house, and he goes to his closet, opens the closet, and in that closet he said something was very holy. It was a costume that this Yid was made to wear in an embarrassment, in the town, to embarrass him as a Yid, and in his embarrassment created much holiness. So you have a good point there.
Mark, who are you talking to? I only see one. I think I was just.
Dude, I got a question. I do apologize for not being content for you for a little while now. But have any of those things actually gotten any interest? Any of the maybe season 1, 2, and 3 of Clubhouse, or not? It's new stuff. Are you there? Or is the con blocking your hearing?
I think you might take up the most space on the internet.
Well, comedy is the secret, and just look at what's his face from Comedy Central News. What's that guy's name? Anyways, comedy allows you to be subversive in a way that there's like no other art form like comedy. But subversive in a good way, not a bad way.
But you should definitely be doing improv. I think you'd be very good at improv. Do you engage in it at all?
I've done it, yeah. I did comedy classes at Second City here in Chicago.
What have you not done?
I've never skydived. I've only bungee jumped. No, I didn't want to. I dropped out of the Air Force because I didn't think it was
I
tough.
went in the Army. I was just kind of joking with the fighter.
No, I changed from Air Force to Army, and then, but I'll tell you the truth, the Air Force was the way to go. The Army is not the way to go.
People do that? You can switch services?
In college, you can switch ROTC, yeah.
Okay. That's true.
Plus, I flew a plane, and I was like, man, it's fucking bumpy, and this isn't very comfortable, It was one of those Cessna planes. I was like, man, I don't think I want to be a pilot.
So, I really want to be a pilot. See what? Don't want to be in the Navy. Don't want to be in a tank.
I love that. You wanted to be a pilot, but it was a bit too bumpy.
I'm serious. I flew a Cessna, and it was not it was not a pleasurable experience. It was very uncomfortable.
It gets better the faster you apply.
Did you hear what happened in New Jersey last week?
No. Oh, yeah.
Traffic control was
They
down.
lost radio contact for 36 seconds or something like that.
And they said like a bunch of people are out because of the trauma, like working there.
What do you mean a bunch of people are out? They quit?
Like they were like on leave from the trauma of like being there when that happened.
Some pilots are freaking out too. The Secretary of Transportation has just announced an overhaul of the air traffic control system today.
How does France justify bringing that Syrian jihadist Turkish-backed militant into Paris?
Who killed thousands of Christians, right?
I mean, I saw videos of what they're doing to people, and it's so sickening because you realize it is an Islamic caliphate, and they're insane, and it's it's a war crime what they're doing to people. It's insane.
Wait, what is France doing? I missed
the Syrian militants, what they're doing to Christians.
No, I know that, but what did France do?
They brought in the guy, in a suit, and
He went to Paris?
justified him or gave him, backing essentially.
But he didn't leave the country. He left the country to lose his position.
No, he went to Paris to have a meeting with Macron.
Yeah, that's surprising.
I don't know. I mean, it's how does that guy have freedom of movement?
Look at Paris, though. There's uncertainty, actually. That's why. With that electorate, that group, they're in so deep, they're fucked. Look, as long as Turkey backs him, he can do whatever he wants to. It's becoming Turkey South. It's taking over the air bases. But they're in secret talks with Israel being what do you call it? The UAE is coordinating security matters, in quotes. That's all they would say.
I don't know. I think coexistence to me is just another hypnosis word. You can go to the Baha'i Temple here in Chicago, and it's magnificent and beautiful and just stunning. And their whole thing is coexistence. So, I mean, I think if you want to have coexistence, it has to be like a science of religions, meaning you can't be all or nothing anything, and you should know a little bit of something about everything, or at least culture or psychology and people. And know that I've been to Jordan twice, and I've been in weird, very strange areas with what I would call.
Petra is not a strange area.
No, I'm talking like people's estates with like Egyptians and Palestine. Like I don't even know. Anyways, I saw Palestinians like towns, cities in the distance where the Jordanian guys was like, see that fucking city over there? That was a Palestinian encampment. Now it's a fucking village / like looking city almost, or town. So I mean, when you're there, the Jordanians have a very different perspective. Like there's in-group and out-group, so it's super tribal, and then there's like a super tribe, and the expression is me and my cousin, or me and my brothers versus my cousins, me and my cousins versus the world. So, I don't know. It's like, to me, the whole thing is like machismo, essentially. People got these fucking big ideas, big ambitions, but, their town doesn't even have a fucking library.
true. He would be an interesting character to meet or hear speak if he even does that.
I think he's doing the podcast.
Yeah, that's how I listen to him. But he's wicked smart. A bit controversial, but I still think so intelligent.
Very interesting.
What do you think? What do you think about Vindman?
He has the ear of a lot of leaders. He's got the ear of a lot of higher ups in Israel.
What do you think about Lieutenant Colonel Vindman?
What you said,
Vindman, yeah, he's the one who said that Trump didn't have a perfect phone call or something with Ukraine, and he was on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh yeah,
he's got a big social media following. You know, I mean,
oh, he's such a bitch.
He's a bitch.
Did you guys see him? Total bitch.
But
I knew it the second I talked to him. I saw him with those stupid glasses, his fat belly. I didn't think it was nice. It wasn't a perfect phone. Shut up, you little bitch.
I mean, what a bitch. I mean,
that was a very weird episode.
Hundreds of thousands, million, you know.
Trump for? Huh?
So strange.
It was such a thin case. And Vindman is a weird character. So was that other spy that got fired? She had an Irish accent or something. Remember that? There was a woman too. Yeah, everyone was really a twin brother as well. He has like a twin brother. Was he? Yeah, and they're both little deep state nerds. I mean, that's the only way I could describe them. They were mad because Trumpy Bear wasn't being nice in the Foreign Service, and the diplomats didn't like the way he talked to other leaders. Shut up. That's what this whole thing. That's what the whole thing this second term is really about. Like, the reason Trump is being so aggressive right now and crazy, part of it is just that he's pissed off and he's crazy. But the other part of it is like the entire government set out to work against him during the first term and not implement his policies, foreign policy and domestic. So now he's just like, okay, I'm just going to fucking fire everyone. Okay, we're just going to put it this way. It's not letting them get in the way. Right? And it's their own fault for angering. Like, I'm not saying just because it's Trump, but honestly, you work for the president. If you want to go up against that Democrat, Republican, whatever the president is, that's fine. But you're going to have consequences, and that's what we're seeing right now, in my humble opinion.
You know what would be a very funny interview is somebody from the U.S. military that had a lot of experience with trans soldiers and the policies and the rules and the protocols and the whole experience of like trans soldiers in armed forces. It has got to be the like most bizarre, cringe, can't believe what you're fucking witnessing. Also, that you can't even believe that that person is doing what they're doing. Because that to me is the wildest thing is, you know, somebody who is just constantly projecting trans in the military and they get this like policy and procedure to actually do it. It's like the biggest role play simulation ever of total insanity in all military of all times, because it's like right out there in the open, you know, under Biden. It was like, I mean, there's got to be so much documentation on it. And I'm sure a lot of soldiers have a lot of videos of like, you know, maybe what you might call disabled people doing army play, but just sad and weird. I mean, just weird to think that you would have like a squad of trans people, you know, in a platoon or something, but and across all branches of the military. So it's got to be one of the funniest things. And I'm sure there's a lot of crazy videos that will come out.
Trump just reversed that. Like to put trans sex changes back or to reverse all the problems. Trump reversed the order to permit trans people to serve in the military. It seems so inappropriate, doesn't it? I mean, what could be more inappropriate than that?
But see, I'm sure a lot of the people who were trans, they will no longer present as trans and they will still be in the military, but they will return to proper dress code and, you know, personal appearance. I mean, so they're no longer trans. But that's what I'm saying. The documentation has to be crazy because it's, you know, they literally draft a document. All this stuff is like military order procedure documentation manuals. So there's literally like trans manuals, LGBTQ manuals. I mean, you know, that's because of the administration. But what happens if we get an administration like that again? I don't know. Will America ever get an administration like that again? To me, it seems highly likely, right? It seems very likely.
Yeah, it's likely to happen. I mean, they were teaching CRT in the military. They were teaching people that white people were evil in the military.
Well, listen to this. When I'm in the infantry, I'm in Fort Benning, Georgia, and you can go to every religious service option. There's like 10 religious options on every Sunday. I went to every one of them. And I experienced every single religious denomination under the sun on a major military base. And they bring in people who conduct religious services for whatever specific religion that is for those soldiers. So I went to an Islamic religious service, and there is like an imam on a U.S. Army military base saying that if you don't believe in Muhammad and the truth of Islam, your head will be crushed on a rock for infinity or eternity, and that's your punishment. And this is on a U.S. Army installation.
You heard those words out of his mouth.
Out of his fucking mouth. And I just couldn't even believe what I was listening to. And I'm like, this is so crazy. But I understood because of freedom of religion, you're going to, and the fact that they basically, I would say, contract with almost basically, or these people are doing it for free. I don't know how he was being compensated, but they all got access to U.S. facilities to conduct all these religious ceremonies and religious activities.
Army chaplains get paid.
No, but this guy was not in the Army. He was an imam who had special permission to conduct Islamic classes and ceremonies and religious, Sunday service.
That's the problem with religious freedom and democracies is that they're a little too open to ideas that threaten and challenge those democracies.
I didn't even bring it up. I mean, to me, it was just another experience, and you were moving so quickly. There was no time to. You can't report anything as a private. I mean, it's just an experience. But I mean, you meet all kinds of strange people in the military. Honestly, I met white supremacists. I met people that were in New York during 9/11. I met older people who were polarized by 9/11 that wanted to go to war. I mean, you meet all kinds of interesting people.
Well, I was 2 blocks away in Battery Park. I watched the towers fall with my own eyes.
I mean, to me, when I see those videos, to me, it looks like a controlled demolition. And, that's my opinion. I don't know who did it. Could have been internal. Could have been a combination of internal and external. But to me, I think Larry Silverstein made out like a man. And I mean, maybe that's crazy talk. But I don't know why I have any reason to believe Larry Silverstein or have any good faith in him.
Well, they said that wasn't the Pentagon being investigated for a lot of misappropriated funds?
Well, yeah, the Pentagon video is, to me, the big giveaway that was most likely a rocket and not a plane.
Well, no, and apparently the records that were being kept in the World Trade were associated with government funds.
Yeah, WTC-7, which is the third tower that fell on 9/11, housed Salomon Brothers, CIA, New York Emergency Response, and a whole slew of other government agencies. So it was like a federal building. And that one definitely fell from thermite detonation and controlled demolition. That's a fact. That thing didn't even get hit by a plane. It fell free fall. I mean, that's controlled demolition. So it's like that information's got to come out. I mean, because to me, that's the most obvious crazy. It's not even a conspiracy theory. It's like, that's unexplainable. Like, that has to be.
Have you seen the video of the storage rooms that had all those. I don't know if it was some detonation material, some type of bomb type material. Apparently, trucks were coming in and out of the World Trade for like months at a time leading up to it.
I've seen a lot of good documentaries on all this stuff. The Corbett report was probably, like, to me, the biggest whistleblower source of information, with like Kroll Associates and the Bush family connection, meaning that there is, coordination or cooperation between, central intelligence agencies of the world. I mean, just like central banks. I mean, there is an equilibrium on the planet.
But it could have been, if it was something like this, it could have been a deep state not orchestrated by the state itself.
I don't know. I think 9/11 was a cooperation between global intelligence agencies.
Well, the scary thing in the world of intelligence is none of us really know what's going on.
What's Palestine?
What?
What's Palestine?
The 9/11 Jesus' birthday thing's a little weird.
Who cares?
And a lot of people made a lot of money off of trades, like before.
Yeah, there's a hedge fund that tracks all the congressional transactions, but that's still delayed data because everybody has to make these financial disclosures.
To the Holy Schnitzel.
I don't think that's a real thing, sir.
Have I ever been to the Holy what?
Schnitzel.
That is so bizarre that I was just looking at it on Uber Eats as you.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yes. I was just about to order from Holy Schnitzel. Yes, I've eaten that. Can I tell you something? What the heck is going on? The schnitzel in Israel is so much better than the schnitzel here.
Isn't it?
So much better.
Everything in Israel is better.
Yeah.
Running less steroids and chickens.
Even the water, the air, everything. Everything is better. I found this little, like, kosher hole in the wall next to the American Embassy. And, like, the taxi drivers are eating there and stuff. I love to go to holes in the wall. And you just sit
If
like
you're gonna get sleep from Holy Schnitzel, get the Bacher special.
oh, I saw that. I know.
Yeah, trust me, it'll fill your stomach. Yeah, you won't even be able to finish it. It's worth it. You and your son could probably split the sandwich and you have the fries and you'll be good after. Like, it's very good.
We do that. I send him kosher.
Yeah, Bacher. Yeah, so then get the Bacher special. It's perfect for that.
And he goes, Dad, I said the bracha. Like I didn't even ask.
That's good.
I know. It's like it's all about leading by example.
Absolutely.
Nagging is useless. But leading by example, they
That's
want
my
to.
way. That's true. That's true. It's true. I definitely think it could make a good impact on a child. Like when he's young, seeing his father rapping to film with his toddlers.
Oh yeah.
I think it makes a big impact on a child.
He's into it.
What about this 9/11 stuff? Just because Tower 7 almost definitely is the Nexus. Does that mean that necessarily?
I couldn't hear you. You're in the Matrix, Doctor.
Yeah,
So I was like,
what I said was, just because Tower 7, which I believe you guys, and the Pentagon look like controlled explosions
Also, Shanksville was a rocket too. I do not believe a plane went into Shanksville. And so when Trump puts that big stand over in Shanksville and does a ceremony in Shanksville, I just think he's like continuing the propaganda.
Why do you think that? You think the stories
Because the pictures, like, I'm just I want to try to eliminate a hindsight bias and say, when I see a picture of Shanksville, that to me looks like a rocket implosion and not a plane implosion.
Wait, you saw a picture of the explosion?
Shanksville, yeah, everybody's the videos, yeah, you can just go on Google, YouTube, and look up Shanksville and be like, is that a plane? Nah.
Maybe I should look at that before I weigh in.
Yeah, it's just not a plane. I mean, you see, then Google plane crashes, and you will see tons of fucking plane debris. And Shanksville's got no fucking plane debris. So explain that with
So
me.
you think that all the people that were victims are just like in the witness protection program?
No, I'm saying they were probably fake identities, and it was an empty plane.
Oh my god.
But what about the people? But there were victims in 9/11.
100%, thousands.
But you think just the plane people were fake? All the people on the planes were fake?
No, listen. This is like the plane stuff is, you know, I don't really have much to say about
Would it
it.
make more sense that they got hit by a missile, though? They were real, or not?
I don't know. Did you ever see on Dateline interviews with like 100 people, you know, impacted by 9/11, like their wife, their husband, their kids? Like, you ever see any fucking videos about the people that died on those planes and like, you know, complex interviews with people who knew them? I never seen those videos. You ever seen those videos?
I saw Flight 93. That was pretty good.
Yeah, you saw a Hollywood adaptation of most likely an entirely scripted event.
Well, why do you go right to that? Like, wouldn't what I said earlier be like more likely that they were shut down by a missile, just like the Pentagon, and it was real people?
I don't know. I'm just saying that whatever the official story is, that is not the real story. We have been lied to with regards to 9/11.
I can get behind that. Harry there, Mr. Harold. Harold. Which deep state operative just said, let's move on?
Michael Aquino.
Okay, writing that down in my book. Deep state agent. Merci, goodbye.
It's doctor.
Like, what was it, Ilhan Omar, when she's like, some people did something that day.
She's a charmota.
If there's one person I'd like to see arrested and deported, it would be Ilhan Omar for marrying her brother and falsifying her immigration papers.
Send her to China.
No, we should send her to Gitmo.
Send her to New Delhi.
Yeah, after we capture Ilhan Omar, we should round up about 150,000 Somalis out of Minnesota and also deport them back to Somalia. That's just my opinion.
Or we can colonize them and make them speak Yiddish. What do you think?
I mean, I'm just actually kind of kidding about the Somalis, but not really.
You force to convert them into Hasidism. What do you think?
I don't know. We got a new Chicago Polak as the Pope, you know. That's exciting news for people. The guy's so Polish, he doesn't even know he's the Pope. You know how Nazi Germany conquered Poland so quickly? They marched in backwards, and the Polacks thought they were leaving. Anyways, what are you doing tonight to act responsible? Are you going to be out in your garden listening to crickets while your wife continues to raise your children with an absentee husband?
Holy shit. How did you know? I'm about to go plant some plants for Mother's Day in the dark for my wife. And I want to know how you do that.
I have access to a Starlink terminal, and whoever I talk with here on Clown House, I can take a Starlink camera and just zoom down with like 100,000, magnifying glass telescope, and just see exactly whoever I'm talking to. It's like a remote viewing project that Elon Musk has been working on.
Can you see this?
These nuts.
This is a chocolate star is waiting to you.
You know, I was looking at the moon through a telescope the other night, and I couldn't fucking focus it. No matter how hard I tried, I could not get this telescope to focus on the moon. So I pulled out a pair of binoculars, looked at the moon. I bought 3 telescopes, and they're all very difficult to use.
Last week the moon's fake. It's a projector up on Trump Tower. I'm just saying.
What?
Do you know how many moons Mars has?
No.
I know we found a new one, right?
Do we like the firmament?
Did we like to burn them? So funny.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about the moon landing? Like the fact that you can drive a car up there, drive it around, play golf, fly back to the Pacific, and then go to Hollywood and like talk to Nixon, Is it propaganda?
I'm not buying it. Really not. And all they can't do it again. And also that black lady took them there. She was just such an autist with numbers.
The human computer African American?
Yeah. It doesn't add up. No pun intended. You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't they continue this behavior? It couldn't have been that hard.
So I used to live in what's called Century City in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I heard of it.
And there's this hotel there that has this amazing lobby in the basement. It's an older hotel, but it's a huge hotel. And they had all these black and white photos, like old historic photos. So there's a photo of Nixon with ABC, CBS, NBC in this giant box with a glass window and these astronauts who just came back from the moon. And it looks like the Nixon Johnny Carson show. And it was at that moment that I realized the connection between, major media, because NBC, CBS, ABC, that's all there was, those 3 networks. So that was the networks to the world. I mean, and that whole lunar mission, I mean, think about Tom Hanks. Like, to me, that's the big giveaway. It's like, it's all fucking fake. If Tom Hanks in that whole movie with what's his face, I bet you it's all fake. bet you the whole Tom Hanks movie is completely and utterly fake.
I think the Castaway was more realistic than the moon landing.
I mean, have you ever tried to visualize what it would be like to get into, let's say, even Elon Musk's, Starlink or Starship or whatever, but just think about it from the perspective of the person, like, in the cockpit, as if you were, like, in a plane, flying a plane up on the surface of the Earth, But think about being in, like, a fucking rocket, and you're flying to the fucking moon, and you're like, man, we're getting closer to the fucking moon. We're about 50 minutes away from the moon. And you're just like fucking blasting, because you gotta have a lot of rocket propellant to get to the fucking moon. Then you get to the fucking moon, and then, like, what do? You get into like a geosynchronous orbit with the fucking moon or something. You're floating around the moon, and then you're like, all right, let's send down the fucking capsule. You fucking land this fucking other spacecraft on the surface of the fucking moon with a fucking car and a set of golf clubs and some cameras. And oh, don't forget, this shit's being beamed back real time. You know that part too about the whole story, that the whole thing is live, right? You know that, right? There's like a 15-minute delay or some shit. So anyways, I'm just saying, then they got back in that fucking capsule. They fucking flew back up to the mothership, and then they flew the mothership to the Pacific, and then they went on ABC, CBS to tell the story. Is that fucking real? I don't think so.
Did you ever see the video of Neil Armstrong trying to land or trying to test the lunar module on Earth, and it exploded and he ejected from it in the very last second before it exploded? That was on Earth. I don't know if you guys saw that video ever, but yeah, there's a video of that. So yeah, and somebody on the channel argued with me one day about it, saying I said that it's fake. I completely agree with you. And they were saying I was crazy like a flat earther and all this shit for that. Oh man.
I don't know, what's that one guy's name, Neil Armstrong, who like gets visibly angry, like, and actually attacks people when they say swear on the Bible. Yeah, like if you really landed on the fucking moon, do you know how much of a G you are? You don't need to get angry at conspiracy theorists who are trolling you. You could sit them down and say, listen, son, you stupid fucking loser, I landed on that fucking moon, bitch. I fucking flew a rocket ship up there and flew fucking, like, you know, you wouldn't get angry because you really would be like one of the rarest humans on the fucking planet. I mean, you know, you.
I flew to New Schwarber's land or whatever it's called, New Schwarby or whatever, Schwarber.
But I don't know. The other thing is the Stanley Kubrick films, like where he's saying it's all, you know, a government federal intelligence operation and a propaganda effort. I mean, I don't know if it's real or fake. I mean, because I know we have.
You know that if you're going up in Elon spacecraft or the blue spacecraft, the story you were doing before about, okay, the moon is 15 minutes away. Like, the moon is like hours away from where they're going. They're going up like a couple of miles up into the lower atmosphere. They're not even getting into like orbit. They're in low Earth orbit at the maximum.
Well, Russia didn't give a fuck. They just send people out there to fucking die, you know? They're just like, oh, we don't care if you die. We're gonna send some dogs out there and all sorts of shit.
Yeah, but I mean, I could just be entertaining and hypnotizing you all, because like I can pull out my binoculars and look at the moon and say, yeah, that bitch isn't that far. I can fucking see it with a fucking pair of binoculars. So to think that you couldn't take a rocket, I mean, why the fuck haven't we shot a fucking rocket into the fucking moon?
We shot 3 rockets like 2 years ago, you know, on April 6th during the eclipse. We were shooting the rockets with all the Egyptian shit on it. You know, we did it. Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Anyways, I'm just saying, if you've ever been outside of the American bubble, you realize that, like, we're probably a bunch of fucking liars.
The thing is, though, Edmund, you are more likely to find people that are kind of believe like you or awake like you than in America than anywhere else. A lot of these countries believe our mythos more than we do. Especially Israel. They believe everything we spit out.
I mean, you're talking about a country with 12 million people, and then, you know...
What, Canada?
No, Israel.
Oh. Wow. Their population is pretty close, isn't it?
It's the size of the city of Chicago in terms of population, and Chicago is like 100 times bigger, you know? Israel's a tiny little fucking coastal enclave nothing. It's you know, the Israel... Basically... I don't know. I think there's a major difference between Israeli Jews and, you know, diaspora Jews, European and American Jews. There's a big difference. But the thing is, once you become acclimated to a culture, there's no more difference. So they're no different than anybody else. No, just nobody wants to get fucking murdered. Nobody wants terrorism. I mean, nobody wants somebody fucking driving a bus into you. Nobody wants somebody shooting you while you're driving on a highway. Like, if there's a violation of the law and somebody gets murdered, there's no greater problem in society. Like, but I don't understand. America is so crazy. In Chicago this summer, 3,000 people will get murdered in the streets with guns. It's like Pritzker doesn't. There's never an emergency in America. Just outside of America, it's the only place that there's ever emergencies.
Well, listen, I'm trying to do my part. I'm watching The House of David on Amazon Prime. And I think that's my contribution to the tribe. It's a great show. And you guys need to keep that land just like you took it away from Goliath.
Did you see the Ellie Cohen saga with Sacha Baron Cohen, where he played the Syrian spy who fooled the Syrians?
No.
If you want a good laugh, watch Sacha Baron Cohen play Ellie Cohen.
What is it called if I look it up?
Just type in Sacha Baron Cohen, Ellie Cohen, the spy, and you'll go on YouTube and you'll fucking laugh your ass off. Because, you know, it's actually very good. It's actually very good.
He's always good.
Yeah, he is good. Peace. Anyways, why does Harry, why do you have a new party hat? What happened here?
I got banned. Not like suspended indefinitely. Because of a PTR that I had. It was a Muslim guy praying on the ground. There was a goat. It was like AI image of a goat behind him getting fucked. You're fucking him. And so yeah, I guess that's like not appropriate enough for Clubhouse. So got banned. And I was like my third strike on that account. So I'm shocked I had that account for that long.
I can't believe I haven't been banned in quite a while. I can't believe it.
Because you probably, honestly, I think what it is, it's like, you know, enough people have to report you, and then I guess they have to have some kind of obvious evidence. I don't know what it is. Maybe I think it's just the PPRs now that are banning people for. I have no idea. I was honestly shocked to see that because I just like normally kind of, it seems like they kind of like been leaning off of banning people, you know. And they were very heavily on doing that before, but now it's like I feel like they were very lenient on it. But I guess not. It's honestly really stupid if you think about it. They think like once you've been here, kind of want to get back on there's no point in doing it. Like what the fuck is the point of doing it? I don't know, the guys who created this app are just retarded.
I know.
Have you been on that Chatter app or whatever?
No, hell no.
From Nelson?
What's the point? It's just one more waste of time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, anyway, it's fine. I tried to download it just to see. I never wanted to. And then when I downloaded it, it says, it asks you for all your information. I put all this fake information, like your name, your birthday, everything, your email. And then you get to the final page and it says, oh, well, sorry, right now we're only doing invites, so we'll send you an invite whenever there's a spot open, pretty much. And it's like, if you want, maybe you can reach out to us and we can see if we can get you a spot. And it gives you, like, their Instagram or whatever, their Twitter or whatever. So I'm like, what the fuck? They make you give all your information. They probably sell your data to make money to fucking open that, to keep that running. You know, so.
Well,
weird.
I think they.
Information, then you need anybody.
I think they use it as like a way to qualify people to like see how much they can scam them or if they're a potential victim for their investment scam, you know. It's kind of what they do. It's like a very high filtration app, you know. It's like, we'll call you, don't call us. That's the basically it's a filter app in a way, but they must put a lot of money into it if it really even works. I mean, I don't even know anybody, a couple people who say they use it.
The funny part about all that shit is that guy Jonathan, like his friend who I guess is doing it with him, did all the rooms with him. He opens a room here in Clubhouse,
I know.
and then they stream the room from Chatter to here. It's like, what the fuck? But you're requiring people to get invited and join your app. How are you going to build your numbers and shit if you're only making the invitation only? That makes absolutely no sense. You know, it's like it's a place for Nelson to go and talk and not being able to be the king, right? So no one can moderate him, no one can do shit. He can run his own app and be on his own app at the same time and talk about whatever he wants to talk about. So it's just a power move, I would say. And he brought his whole audience with him, and now he realized like if I can't bring the whole audience with me, we'll just advertise it on fucking Clubhouse and Twitter and shit. Because he was also on Twitter too. So.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just all stupid conversation. It's mostly all just gossip and, you know, fucking jibber jabber. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's content. I guess it is content, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. It's a small audience, really.
Yeah, if you think about it in the long run, it's a very small audience.
Grant Cardone is like their.
On TikTok with way bigger.
Grant Cardone is like.
Oh, yeah, he's like their.
Yeah. He's the
guy who brings everybody.
Yeah, he is their authority, or their credibility in a way. He's the only like real notable notoriety kind of person, and he's in his, you know, it is what it is. I mean,
honestly, I didn't even know who the fuck he was until I was on Clubhouse. I never heard of his name in my life before until I went on Clubhouse, and then all of a sudden I started seeing like ads everywhere on Facebook and everything about Grant Cardone's book. He had all these videos of him selling shit and like selling his promotions on how to make money or whatever, you know, all this shit. It was like everywhere at one point.
Yeah.
You know, on Twitter, on fucking, I don't know what he did, I don't know what it was, but it was like I didn't know who the fuck that guy was before Clubhouse. So no idea. Bro, Lex Friedman used to come into our rooms, bro.
I know. I clipped him from this app one time, and he messaged me. He's like, "That's not very cool, bro. Recording people without their permission." It was all because like we were giving him dating advice, and you know he just says some really cringe shit, and it was very funny. Dr. Pepe has arrived. You know, Dr. Pepe, I was wondering, what is your first name?
I'm not telling you that shit.
I mean, is it like, can I guess it? Like, is it Tony? Is it like Andy? Is it like Steven? Peter?
It's a name that's rather universal. Jews, Christians,
John?
all ethnicities tend to have it.
John, are you?
Starts with a P.
Abraham.
Paul.
No.
Peter?
I'm not going to help you.
Anyways, it doesn't really matter. Just was curious. Danny.
Name?
Huh?
Is that your other room?
Yeah, I have a room open called White Racism.
Peter.
Because I was in chillism and it just goes so hard against white people, and it's just ridiculous.
It's Paulo. Jesus Christ.
I like the Paulo.
It's total brain rot.
Yeah, because Jews name their kids Paulo all the time.
Never.
I know. That's why I'm full of shit.
I met one. It's a nice name.
But I guess like if you're like from Brazil or some shit, but I mean.
It's Italian.
It does start with a P, but you know. Very basic first name.
Hilarious, bro. That Talia girl takes her job so seriously. It's like, do they really have lives? These people, like, every day they're opening this room. And it's like, okay, guys, you're next in the order, then you're next, and then you're next. And please don't talk over this person. And you know what? You can go at it. And they put all these rules in, like,
I'm bored. I want to troll people.
Really bored of their life.
They put so much time into it that like if you go to YouTube and you type in Chillism Clubhouse, all you see is my videos, and they're just all damning videos, and you're like, I can't believe these people will spend this much time every day, and it's really basically people essentially trying to demonstrate their command of the English language. They would be so much better off just reading the dictionary into the room, because. And the funniest thing is when they try to use technical terms, not even technical terms, but just words like stealing an argument.
You don't know what it means, yeah.
The whole thing is like kids kind of trying to like played the debate game, and you're like, this is very funny. It's, I don't know,
I stopped going in there months ago, dude. Like, I couldn't.
They kicked me.
You have like Louis. You have all of the belligerent, low IQ black retards, and then white retards. It's a nice swirl of both, and they love to argue. And even like, I forget, it was like Cold Guy Dave or whatever. I forget, Cold Dad Dave. I forget. He's a nice guy.
Well, I love that they kick me. Like, I don't even say anything. I'm in the audience and they kick all my accounts. And to me, that's like a big compliment. That means that, like, I'm in somebody's head and they're actively scanning the audience and like, they see my kick them. Like, that's the way somebody actually feels. And, you know, to me, that's like a big, like, compliment because I've like psyoped them. Because the whole thing is chillism. It's really not about being chill. It's actually about like reverse racism and really projection and self-esteem boosting and virtue signaling and every other crazy.
Are they like reverse racist now? Because they used to tolerate me a lot.
Well, not like huge quantities of white racism, but I'm just saying that it's the same. It's an entertainment room, and like you're just, to me, it's just terrible entertainment because you're like listening to really low intelligent people debate words. It's the same show every single room.
I mean, have you've been in Lou Fax rooms before?
Yeah.
Like, I'll go in there. I don't even know why. I actually, like, I've questioned myself so many times, like, why am I here with these fucking retards? But, you know.
No, I get it. I mean, but the thing is, I record, and it's like, I don't know how anybody can listen to things without recording it, because I'm like, I wouldn't dare waste my fucking I wouldn't dare waste my brain listening to something knowing that I wouldn't listen to it unless I was recording it. I don't even, like, you know how this app does the preview now? It's like, I want to turn the volume down because I don't even want to hear, you know, most of these rooms. I turn the volume down now because I have Android. I don't want to listen to all these rooms. No, this is Harry.
It's only on the Android right now, the preview.
This is Harry Balsa.
What room are these faggots in? I can't see anything.
I'm in Coexistence ODB Start Step B with Harry Balzac.
Where is it? I'm looking.
Yeah, Diego kicked me out of his room today. What do you think about the new Pope? You're Catholic, right, Pepe?
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I don't know. I'm hearing mixed opinions. Some people are saying he's like too woke or some stupid shit, but the reality is, like, you think you're gonna get a fucking pope that's gonna be like anti-immigration and all of that shit? Like, it's not gonna happen. That's just like you're not caring about the plight of all of mankind, especially fellow Catholics. That's always going to be a thing. I'm sorry, they're not going to be like Nazis. It's not going to happen. But I don't know, people are retarded. He doesn't seem like, he seems kind of moderate, if anything. He doesn't want hoes to be deacons. He has pretty strong stances on that.
Did you see?
But it's weird. They're trying to say oh, he's part of the global Marxist New World Order, and it's really weird. And these faggots have been doing this for a long time. But like a lot of the neo-Nazi types that are still around on X, like, you know, a couple of the leaders like followed me a couple days ago, and they're trying to get me to go in their rooms, and now they're just like on a flat out anti-Abrahamic Abrahamic religion bend, and this has been going on for a couple of years, but now it's like kind of pushing strong. They're saying, like, if you're pro-white, you cannot be Christian, you can't be yada yada yada, because it's just like, you know, it will imperil our people. It's just weird. So now Christians and Catholics are kind of getting caught up in the anti-white conspiracy theory stuff. So we'll see.
Well, it's anti-American. There's a fact that there's an anti-American conspiracy theory in the Biden administration. I mean, that's beyond a reasonable doubt. I mean, the border invasion is absolutely fucking insane. I regularly see what I would consider to be illegal aliens roaming the street, in like an impoverished condition, and I'm just like, man, a lot of fucking people. This is the thing. We don't even have the manpower to actually do mass deportation. We just don't have it.
Yeah, I know. I wish we did, but I don't think either side really cares too much.
See, we do have the manpower. See, I'm crazy because we do have the manpower. We have so many police.
Of course we do.
Yeah, we have police that can easily do it. We have National Guard soldiers that can easily do it, but we don't have the willpower to do it.
Woodrow Wilson rounded those beaners up and shipped them back regularly.
But if you think about the economy, like I go to a lot of restaurants, and I know that like all these restaurants are powered by Hispanic Mexican labor primarily, and
sing. Talking accent.
What do you want to
when
hear?
You speak, sing it words you speak.
¿Por qué no te hablan? ¿Por qué no te calles? Why did you interrupt me? I was born here as an anchor baby. He's making fun of me.
You're going to make me laugh so hard I'm going to shit in my culo.
Edwin.
Déjate mushies en mis pantalones.
George. Pepe, do you hear me, Pepe?
Sí,
Pepe.
Pepe, I was filming videos of myself today with a Pepe mask on. I got thousands and thousands of views.
Hermano, Pepe, do you hear me, my friend? Pepe.
I was playing music. Never had one lesson.
Sí que, pinche meate.
Hello, my friend.
So Pepe, if the Pope comes to America, which he certainly will, and he invited you to the gathering, would you go to meet the Pope?
Yeah, why not?
What would you tell the Pope if you had 10 minutes at the time?
I don't. Well, I mean, if I knew I was going to have 10 minutes of his time, I'd probably spend all day thinking about what I'd ask him. So I really don't. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
I mean, you do realize when you meet the Pope, and you actually, anytime you ever really meet somebody, no matter who they are, you realize, it's just another fucking person who's gonna die. And that's...
Well, sure, but I mean, it's like, but if there's like, compared to like a celebrity or some shit like that, it's just like, I'm sure people like me might have like existential life questions and, questions about certain things involving morality, and it's just like what am I supposed to fucking do? Like what realistically, would I would ask those kinds of questions. And no celebrity could answer those questions, but he could at least answer those questions, enlightened by, biblical doctrine according to the Catholic Church. So that's the only reason it would be like, I would put way more thought into meeting somebody like him.
What do you think about like American Protestantism versus American Catholicism? Like those that historical religious competition in America.
Unmute your mic. Unmute.
They have flaws.
See,
like if you're to look at Protestants, there's good things about them in comparison to Catholics, and I would say that like the whole thing with Protestant work ethic.
Your words must be sung.
I would say that like when we think of like a lot of the positive traits of white people, for example, in the United States, like the original founding stock, where it's like they're not they manage money rather wisely. They're not flashy. They in a lot of ways they
there's like it's almost like they preach a form of stoicism that you don't quite see with Catholics, but with Catholics it is something that you kind of got with it was more of like the third world part of Europe that brought Catholicism, like Ireland, Italy, some of the Germans, which is not third world. And it is kind of, they do, and I kind of like this part where it's like, yeah, they do want to help out the needy and the downtrodden and to treat the least amongst us with kind and compassion. Where you don't quite, I just don't really see that with the Protestants. And I think, and then we can just go into like evangelical Christianity, which I think is fucking gross.
Oh, yeah, evangelicals.
Yeah, but I mean, evangelicals are just Protestants.
Yeah, we don't see anything, bro. What the hell?
I don't think
Supposed to sing that.
I differentiate them
Sing your response,
Protestants.
Oh, I forgot. I got to sing you a response. Why don't you think that Protestants are evangelicals?
I mean, aren't evangelicals actually the Americas of the last century?
The idea of to evangelize, the evangelic means pertaining to, and all means a condition pertaining to. So you're talking about a condition pertaining to, like, evangelizing. It doesn't mean that, like, when you evangelize the word of the Lord, you're immediately a Protestant. But if you're evangelic, like, you're literally just describing, a condition pertaining to evangelizing. Please.
Yeah, see,
Doc, you are the Imam Mahdi.
Will like read the Bible and then translate it as they see fit. They will.
Dude, I have my concordance. Do you want me to break it out and put my glasses on?
I don't know. I mean, like, we can look at the Schofield Bible, which like it's a bunch of faggotry and bullshit.
I don't know.
I just the thing is though is that I could read the Torah. I could read. I mean, I'm probably, nobody really reads the Talmud, but I could do this shit. However, like, just like if I read the Quran, I would be, if I was just to try to interpret everything, and especially as I would see as being the literal words, I would never be considered an expert in Islam. The same would go in Judaism. The same goes in Christianity. And I think evangelicals, that's where they like really fuck up.
The Imam Mahdi.
Doc, you are the Imam Mahdi.
So Pepe. Oh, Pepe left.
I am the Mahdi.
Pepe left.
Doc, Pepe doesn't understand his ass from a holy ground. That's why he left. Doc, you are the Imam al-Mahdi. Yeah, I am the Son of God. You are correct. There's nothing else you can say. You are the Imam al-Mahdi. Yeah. That's like saying, you're the rabbi gangster. You're the 12th Imam, the hidden Imam. Do I need to come give your mom a hug? Why do you keep talking about your mom? Ali. You come from Ali.
This guy's autistic.
No, I'm Yiddish.
He's a Yiddish autist. He's a Yiddish.
He did not come back like, no, I'm Yiddish. Oh, Jesus, I need to roll me a blunt on that one. This ninja has no idea. You alright, John?
Mm-hmm.
How goes the campaign?
It goes. We wage war.
Doc. The Jews.
Yes, I'm listening.
You got a talking ape in here.
The Jews are your father.
Well, I mean, my great-great-grandfather was Ibrahim Rothschild, so you're probably not wrong.
We are your ancestors.
Who?
The Jews.
I didn't mean to sound like an owl.
The Jew is your ancestor.
Yeah, so are a lot of other people. Am I supposed to pick from one of them, or do I get to keep all of them because all of them made me?
Are you a Viking?
I think I might have a little bit of Norsican in me because I can grow a mean beard.
Somali pirate?
Well, I mean, I'm not a fucking cornbread Ethiopian that had to run out of fucking Ethiopia because they fucked their cousin and became a Somali.
Those damn Somalis.
Bro, you sound like you're a Sudanese and you want to fight like I'm Southern Sudanese. You want to fight about it?
I don't like the North Sudanese, man. I like the South Sudanese, the Dinka tribe, man.
Bro, he don't want no smoke. He's scared.
So you had a great-great-great-grandmother named Fatima?
I don't know who my great-great-great-grandmother is. 1, 2, 3.
So you must know that you come from Fatima and Ali.
I know that
Do you own a
my
black
great-great-grandfather married a Native American girl who was the granddaughter of a runaway slave and a Native American Seminole Indian female. And then,
sponsor you
but I don't know much about my great-great-grandmother's mother because I've read the book, but there's not a lot written about her.
Can I sponsor you a black turban? You can be a side, you can be the imam.
Well, I mean, I am a religious leader, if you want to know, within my own community. I mean, I could be an imam, I could be a sheikh, I could be a rabbi. You know, in your religion, I would be all three of those at the same time, like the Holy Trinity of, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Can you be a prime minister?
I mean, when we make Canada the 51st state, yes.
It could be 50 states of Yiddish.
Why are you stuttering?
I'm thinking I think maybe 50 states of Israel, the United States of Israel would be very nice. You could have Gaza, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, be the states of Israel. We can
See,
make
I mean,
Jordan
you don't understand American politics because you're not American. You sound stupid when you talk about your version of our geopolitics.
Excuse me?
Did I stutter? Wah, like Charlie Brown's teacher?
Did I stutter?
The only one stuttering here, buddy, is you.
Ooh.
Bro, I'm gonna bury you in the Great Pumpkin Patch.
Oh, I dare you. I dare you.
Ooh. Double dog.
Well, I mean, I was talking philosophically, not physically. I'm not trying to, like, you know, tell you that I'm going to commit physical harm against you, but if you want to talk about, like, sociologically, intellectually, or any of those other levels,
I dare
like,
you.
please come at me. I do. Dude, but you sound like a bitch the way you talk. I mean, you're talking to a man that's been there, done that, got the t-shirt, 3 college degrees.
You don't know
Understands,
who
like,
you're talking to.
98% of everything out there.
Mister,
If
you
you
don't
can
know
teach
who
me the
you're talking
2%,
to.
I'd love to have you teach me the 2%. But if you want to question my 98% of what I know, I will tell you you're a pussy bitch that needs their ass whooped.
Mister. Do you know who you're talking to?
A pussy bitch that needs her ass whooped.
That's the second time I said it.
Mr. Doc. What's my name, Mister?
Oh, see?
See, you don't even know. You can't even read English, can you?
I'm inshallah.
What do you think my race is, Mister?
Not American.
This is so stupid.
You think I am, Mister?
Oh my gosh, I can't take it anymore.
Bro, if he's really American, that's the sad part.
Well, I figure out what I'm talking about too. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay, my bad.
Listen, you trying to miss it. What the fuck is he saying?
Funny with the money, and you got me mistaken, honey. I didn't want to rape you. I just want the papers. The music, the picture. I like the papers. Who the hell on show? Sit like on my...
The guy was obviously egging her on in the video. That was very clear to see.
But I don't understand. Why you not defending yourself right now? You're in a room full of like Jewish people.
Randy, what's up with that PTR? Is that Diego?
This is what you think I don't defend myself?
He got fat, dude.
Jesus. Yo, Robert, man, what happened? You must really be depressed. You got huge. But at least it looks like the dandruff problem went away. But damn, did you put on 100 pounds? 120
Put your
pounds.
YouTube link in the chat. My friend wants to watch it on YouTube.
Actually, never mind. That guy's hair is thicker than yours. Yours is thicker now.
Can you post your
and
If you want me to tag on a woman and get a rise out of her, I told Elle that I hit my girlfriend and she got like livid. I could have played that up and got her a rise out of her. It's easy.
Why is that me?
Dude, I just wish that your girlfriend was my sister so I could come over and like stick a knife in your throat.
Your girlfriend twice. Have you not?
I would love to put
She's a woman you've never even met and you got a rise out of her.
I don't condone any violence towards anyone.
Okay, then
Oh,
get out of
I love
Gaza.
violence. This is one of my favorite things to do.
Go to war.
God taught me about it.
The God of War.
I don't think boyfriends should hit their girlfriend.
Yeah, it's just
Did you do
God.
that?
I think you're lying about what you condone and what you don't condone. For example, I'm very honest.
Are you telling me that God didn't tell him that, like, you know, his army go down there and kill those people and then get all the gold and bring it back? And don't look at it for yourself, but then there's that one dumb fuck that buried the 2 pieces of gold underneath his tent and got like crucified for it. Bitch, please, got me fucked up like God.
Every single day of peace. Fucking faggots.
We're talking about domestic violence.
I do condone domestic
Bro,
violence.
y'all faggot ass trick mouth needs to shut the fuck up. You sound like a pussy bitch.
So is Robbie
What's up,
Palestinian or Israel? No, I'm just someone who's very realistic and I'm opportunistic. And whenever I see opportunity, my hand protrudes and sees that.
You start rubbing your hands together, don't you?
Yes, I actually do.
Licking your lips, hunching your back, and snickering.
No, my back is always hunched.
Then you should stop playing the I'm Palestinian card.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm on a room full of fucking dumb fucks that keep running their fucking fly hole and act like they know what they're talking about, but they don't know shit.
Girl, I told you before, dude. Now, you know what? I'm not gonna say. I'll mute up.
Be a gentleman, Randy. Once in your life.
If we're all standing here, if we're all here on Clubhouse, like talking,
Now, should I tell you in private?
why should we care?
Tell me what.
What I wanted to say.
Sure.
What do you want to get off his chest?
Yeah, I don't want to say it in public. I'll say it in private.
Bro, he probably wants like the cum to come off his chest because he probably got somebody to come over and take a shit on that motherfucker.
He's had a feeling growing inside of him for a long time, and he has to get it out, but he doesn't want to put it on the record.
Yeah, well, he took a shit on somebody else's chest like he was in Dubai, trying to fucking like, you know, pay $25 grand to crap on a bitch's chest and videotape
That
it.
feeling is slightly below the belly button and above the knees. And it's pointing straight up
What
with
the fuck targery are you talking about? You sound dumb as fuck.
Boom.
beer.
Why can't we all get along? No.
Please make it make sense when I'm drinking beer. I'm still smarter than you.
Exactly.
And the shekels
Think
must
about
move.
Ukraine. Just think about Ukraine. BlackRock owns a huge share in the weapon manufacturing companies, which make a shit ton of money by destroying Ukraine. But then BlackRock has all the construction contracts with Ukraine after the war. I make a shit ton of money by destroying Ukraine and then by building it. So why wouldn't I want to war in
You have no idea what the fuck you're talking
Tell me that
about.
I will, right now, I will
Like, well, you know anything about
Ukraine or
their? Tell me. Tell me what is the difference?
of nature.
Tell me what is, you're talking over me. You hear me ask a question. I said, ask me. I said, I'm a dude, you're not letting me talk. Because you're not being very smart.
Your life
I'm
is
asking you.
worlds.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you. I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Like, you're so stupid. You don't understand the difference between King
exist on Earth
or
is to push
Halliburton.
forward my personal interests.
Like
You are my nigga. In other
I
words.
thought that you lost
Doesn't bigger in the room.
You are my nigga.
I didn't know we were talking to the king of the world.
Randy, did you sell the bottom?
Well, bow down.
He got wrecked, dude.
We are all just figments of imagination. We only exist in your head.
No. You exist in physicality. You do exist, but I'm saying
Randy,
the only reason.
Randy, are the niggers in the room with you now?
Yes.
That's all about it.
But Randy, I thought that you lost all your investments.
Every human being is literally.
I really like Melissa. Thank you.
Randy,
They already want to answer this.
buy some whips and shakes.
He lost all his money. It's on you.
How did he lose all his money, though? Make it make sense.
All the tariffs, he lost all his money.
Oh, well, markets are.
Oh, me? No, last
That's what
year
you're
in
saying about
2024, I made
Not
6
true.
figures on interest out of my
I mean,
investments.
all of the recent
But
comps.
in the last like 5 months, I've lost like $48,000 on some investments
So
because
you're
I'm
good
heavily
too, I am.
invested. You know, but you know what?
People, we no longer live in a world of nations and ideologies.
These pussy bitches
The
don't even
world
know
is a
that bet.
college of corporations inexorably determined by the immutable bylaws of business.
Stupid.
The world is a business, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
It has been since the man crawled out of the primordial ooze. Against that. One vast.
Everybody clap. Everybody. Diego's. One person understood it. Thank God.
There is one vast and ecumenical holding company for whom all men will work to serve a common profit, in which all men will hold a share of stock, all necessities provided, and all anxieties tranquilized, all boredom amused.
So about Palestine.
Palestine will be the great circus
About that park.
that we watch on television as Randy counts his shekels.
That's crazy. I was thinking about it. As someone who is not really involved there, why would you be involved in any way that doesn't add to your investment portfolio? Like, are you guys down? Why do you listen?
Wait a second. Randy, this is something you don't understand. Nuda was trying to be Shiloh. It just didn't work out. That was the end.
Yeah, because sometimes the best is not good enough. I'm like, that's fine. So you learn as you go.
And I will fucking murk everybody.
Do you think, would you kill Noura? No, but Noura is Palestinian. I would tell her, Noura, fuck your children. Elle is Israeli. I would tell her, Elle, fuck your hostages.
Jesus.
I don't believe you really think that.
Oh, dude, please test my face.
You tell me he cries himself at night, but let's not talk about that.
No, I laugh my ass off because you guys are wasting your time on Cookhouse talking about shit that don't add anything to your life. Nigga, I'm doing my CFA. I don't care about you motherfuckers. I'll go back.
John, do you agree with that? Are we wasting our time?
Yeah, 100%.
I've been learning, like, remote learn is something I know from,
It don't feel like we're wasting our
I
time.
was brilliant that taught me that I'm the master of my own universe.
Oh, well, I had a total discussion with you about that.
She can't talk anymore because of what she did. So
You guys can't waste your
I'm
time.
with my friend.
You guys are unable to waste your time. There you go.
It feels like performance art, Randy.
I'll tell you, you guys are
Yes, he
unable.
is very performative and broke.
You're unable to waste your time because for you to waste your time, by definition, that means that there's a better use for it. And you guys, you're all losers. You're on crack house wasting your damn time. I'm just telling you, like,
We're wasting your time.
no, you can't even waste your time. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
why we're here. If
There's
you
no better
weren't here, you
alternative.
wouldn't come on here, so we're here.
There's no better alternative use of your time. And
So
therefore
you
you're
could
not
be making
listening.
money instead of wasting your time here with us.
I think Randy claims he makes money while he sleeps.
I think
He
that
loses
you see
money
how.
while he's
Okay,
asleep.
did you see Diego? Did you see what happened to
Does he have
Bitcoin
us trying to turn on the big mic?
today? Just today. Did you see Bitcoin price today?
Yeah, that's because of the Pope.
It's a trick.
You know, we made a shit ton of money today. Nigga, why did you think I'm so happy?
That's because they elected a Pope.
No, it's because of the deal with England.
What was the price of Bitcoin yesterday?
Was there
Was there a Pope yesterday?
And
No.
what was the price yesterday?
It's not so bad yesterday, actually. It went up, but today it went up. Amazing. Just beautiful.
Yeah, so you had your money in Nvidia.
It's been going down to fucking. I made the shit ton with Nvidia. I bought it at 182 recently when it dipped with the liberation day.
There you go.
That's right. We went to 465. Motherfucking, I was back to 514, is it?
Amazing.
What was it from December
You guys wasted
31st
all these dudes
until
wasted
last week?
bro?
Nah.
You're a Jew.
I'm more Jewish than the Jews. At least I make money. Holy fuck.
Yeah, it's true. They got.
You lose money. You were, there you go.
Actually, the Jews make me money.
Was Little Rabbit not complaining to us about how much money he lost? No more than.
That's true, actually. Yeah, I do remember that. There was a lot of convention.
No, the American liberation.
Here's Ad. Let's see how she can contribute to this.
That's my favorite couplet.
And am I wrong when I say that yesterday there was no Pope, today there is a Pope, and also the price of Bitcoin went up, and clearly there's a correlation.
Yeah, who's the cutie in your picture?
That's her cuck boyfriend.
You guys look cute together.
But he's been on Clubhouse, right?
He likes to see her with other men.
She still owes me that date.
She owes. I'm gonna meet her in November.
Oh, what did you say? Sorry. I said you and whoever that is look cute together. Oh, thank you. My boyfriend. I'm going to see him. Okay.
Hey, priorities, and you still have, like, stuff that you have on your docket. You can't just go on vacation.
I'm going to talk to the next person.
On principles,
Oh my god.
dominant,
I got
and
those
overbearing to the need to get their point across. Like those are
This bitch is like
what women tend to do when they're being masculine. Argumentative, physical violence.
My head hurts so bad, and I have bruises.
Botulism.
Well, Elle would get bruises if she goes to Montreal.
Oh god.
You see? No, now you're making Elle really angry.
What happened to Von Swan? Isn't she there? Oh.
You would get a lot of bruises, probably.
She must have left. What day is it? Thursday? I think he told us Sunday to Thursday. He's back to harassing other people.
No, actually, she's on the phone.
Well, tell her hi.
That's why I'm here.
Tell her we want to talk to her. What do you think of the Pompeo?
Why would I let you talk to her?
It's clearly the reason why Bitcoin went up, man. Don't you think?
Talked to her before. I don't do Bitcoin. The Pope said
You heard her, but you didn't talk to her.
We literally talked to her. You would ask her questions and answer from us.
Yeah, but she's literally on the phone. I'm not even supposed to. I'm only here because she's on the phone.
Get off with us. Go talk to her. I'd be pissed.
She's on the phone, nigga. Do you comprendo?
Like on the phone? Oh, like on the phone with somebody else. So.
No shit,